Welcome to today's episode. We're going to take a quick look at a topic that's crucial for families everywhere: parenting styles and the impact they have on children.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Parenting is something so many people are passionate about, and sometimes we don't even realize how the choices we make day to day can affect our kids in the long run.
Exactly. So, when we talk about parenting styles, what are we really referring to?
Parenting styles are essentially the broad approaches or philosophies that parents use when raising their children. Researchers have identified four major types: authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. Each has its own characteristics and effects on child development.
That sounds interesting. Let's break them down, starting with authoritative parenting. What does that look like in practice?
Authoritative parenting is often considered the gold standard. These parents combine warmth and affection with clear boundaries and expectations. They listen to their kids, encourage independence, but also enforce rules and consequences. Studies show that children raised by authoritative parents tend to be happy, capable, and successful.
So it's about balance, then, not too strict, not too lenient. What happens when parents fall into the authoritarian category?
Authoritarian parents are all about obedience and control. They have strict rules and expect children to follow them without much discussion. These parents often rely on punishment rather than discipline. Their kids may be well behaved, but research shows they can also struggle with low self-esteem, anxiety, and may not feel as secure in their relationships with adults.
That sounds pretty intense. How about permissive parents? Are they on the opposite end of the spectrum?
Pretty much. Permissive parents are incredibly responsive to their children, but they don't set many limits or enforce many rules. It's more like being a friend than a parent sometimes. While their kids may feel very free and loved, too little structure can lead to problems with self-control and authority when they grow up. These children might have trouble in school or in situations that require discipline.
And finally, there's the uninvolved style. Can you tell us more about that?
Certainly, uninvolved parents tend to provide little guidance, nurturing, or attention. They might fulfill basic physical needs, but they're mostly emotionally detached. Sometimes that's due to their own life stress. Sometimes it's from a lack of knowledge. Unfortunately, kids in these situations can struggle with self-esteem, perform poorly in school, and might have difficulties in social situations.
Sounds like the authoritative style really stands out as the healthiest. But are there exceptions to that rule?
You're right. The authoritative approach is often associated with the best outcomes overall, but every child is unique. Culture, circumstances, and individual personalities all have a role to play. For example, some kids might thrive with a bit more structure, while others need extra independence. Flexibility is key, and it's important for parents to tune in to their child's needs.
You mentioned culture. How does that shape parenting styles around the world?
Culture makes a huge difference. What's considered strict or nurturing in one society might be completely typical in another. For example, some cultures emphasize respect for authority and family unity, while others prioritize independence. Parents might adjust their style to match cultural values or expectations, and what's most important is consistency and genuine care.
That's a great point. Sometimes parents worry about making mistakes. What would you say to those parents who might see themselves in one of the less effective styles?
It's so important to remember that nobody is perfect. Parenting is challenging, and we all have moments that aren't ideal. The key is being self-aware. If you notice that, for example, you're being too strict or too hands-off, it's never too late to shift your approach. Small changes, like adding more positive feedback or setting clearer limits, can really help.
Such reassuring advice. How can parents work to become more authoritative?
Start by setting clear rules, but make sure to explain the reasons behind them. Listen to your child's side, encourage their thoughts and feelings, and offer support. At the same time, be consistent with discipline and focus on teaching rather than punishing. The goal is to guide, not control. Most importantly, show warmth. Kids need to know you love them, no matter what.
I love that. Any final thoughts for our listeners about the impact of parenting styles?
Parenting styles shape more than just kids' behavior. They influence self-confidence, happiness, and how they relate to the world. Being mindful about how we interact with children helps them become well-rounded adults. And remember, it's not about being a perfect parent. It's about doing your best and growing along with your child.
What a fantastic note to end on. Thank you so much for joining us today and breaking down this impactful topic.
Thank you for having me. It's a conversation worth having for every parent out there.
And thank you to everyone listening. Until next time, keep learning and keep parenting with heart.